Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be reading about a new rush hour article. Anyways, let's get right into it. Can I sit down? No, I cannot. Can I sit here? Yes, I can. No. Okay. Anyways, this is about the Northeast Corridor, Boston-Providence line, with the Amtrak ACS 64 and MBTA F40 PH-3C. Anyways, let's get into it. We talked to the development team about building Northeast Corridor, Boston-Providence, and Train Simulator Rush Hour. We are joined by Tom Walters, who is the lead vehicle artist on Train Simulator 2, Matt Peddleston, the senior producer on Train Simulator 2, and Brandon Phelan, who has been helping us to create Northeast Corridor, Boston-Providence. What has your involvement been in Rush Hour? Brandon: for Dovetail Games, I am contracted for hire. Dovetail will come to me asking if there's things I want to be part of, and I will usually say yes. It's been a good experience for me. For Rush Hour, the creation of this route is the only involvement I have had. This is something I've started on my own back in 2019. Matt actually got me involved with testing a new project for Train Simulator 2020. When I created this route, I never anticipated it would leave my computer, so it's really cool. When I first started, I began by playing around and laying track. I was then deployed with my job, and while I was away, I took my laptop with me and kept on working on this project in my spare time. By the time I came back, I had done track, terrain, signals, a 24-hour service mode, timetable, along with some other little things. Matt: for me, it has been about the broad spec of Rush Hour and everything that is involved. We felt it was important to get Northeast Corridor back in the game, and the work that Brandon had already done with Boston-Providence wasn't an opportunity I wanted to miss. It had always sat with me that Brandon had created this amazing track plan and the working timetable, and it left me thinking, how can we do something with that and bring it out to the people? We then realized that with the Rush Hour, it fit really nicely into what we were trying to do, so I spoke to Brandon, and we arranged to bring it across. The way it had been built is very different to how we would have created ourselves. In terms of how it accesses assets, we have recently been focusing on solving those asset problems. We have also made some changes to the route that we got from Brandon, and we've worked on some parts of the route that weren't quite finished. My work has been doing something similar with the timetable, and I will be rejigging it as we create the MBTA F40 PH-3C and the Amtrak ACS 64 and get them actually into the game. I will be updating the timetable to use those bits of stock. Currently have all the Amtrak services operational, and I'm starting to get the MBTA parts operational too. It's all lining up pretty quickly now, thanks to all the hard work Brandon put into it to start with. What gives this route the Rush Hour feel? Brandon: what makes this fit into the Rush Hour theme is definitely the operations around Boston South Station. The other part of the line is usually busy, but it's not nearly as busy until you get right around Boston. And then you will throw all of the Amtrak trains on top of that, and you'll have a lot of traffic at peak hours. Matt: what this means is there will be a lot of services running in and out of Boston South Station What will create that notion of rush hour is that it's similar to the Dresden route, where you will be following trains until you get near Dresden, and then it's a fight into the busy station. The last couple of stops will be the worst ones because it's where the density of services escalates massively as all these other lines converge. That's what you will get coming into Boston South Station. Brandon, it's not uncommon to be waiting at a signal for up to 5 minutes or so, waiting for some trains to move through Tower 1 in and out of the station. It's congested for sure, and it fits the rush hour theme appropriately. There's a priority, and Amtrak have that priority. So, as a player, you won't typically come across too many stop signals if you're operating an Amtrak consist. What has it been like bringing Amtrak back to the game? Tom, it's a great representation of Amtrak back in the game. They are the largest passenger operator in the United States, and their absence has certainly been felt. We have a great relationship with Amtrak, so it's great that we are able to get them back into the game so the players can drive Amtrak again. They were very forthcoming with providing us guidance on how the locomotives work. Anything they could provide us to make sure we get it on spot on. They are passionate about Amtrak as we are about trains. It's a good match merging both passions. Can you tell us more about MBTA? Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, or MBTA, are a regional passenger operator in the Boston area. They have a very striking livery color. This is a new partnership in a new area. We haven't done any MBTA stuff for any of our products before, so it's all brand new. How did you gather all the information you required for this new route? MBTA had been very cooperative and keen to work with us. They actually asked if they could be in our game through Twitter, and that's how the relationship started. We couldn't go out to take pictures like we would normally, so thankfully Gary Dozel was prepared to help and do it in our behalf. We arranged a resource survey, and that's been fantastic. It's taken a lot of the guesswork out and has helped us to capture the details we wouldn't necessarily know to look for. The rolling stock that comes with this route is the F40PH-3C MBTA, having an ongoing rebuild program of the F40PH-2Cs, which is a modernization plan to keep them running for a good number of years more. The F40PH-3Cs are the more modern locos that we are including. We are also including some of their single-level coaches along with the cab car. It will be quite a different driving experience depending on which end you are at. What do you find exciting about this route, Brandon? This section of the Northeast Corridor is really unique in that it features the highest speeds on the entire corridor. Although the player won't be able to operate the fastest train on this route, that doesn't mean they won't be able to experience high speeds. The ACS-64 has the capability to actually reach its maximum operating speed on this route, which is the first time you will be able to experience this. You are able to hit speeds of 125 miles per hour for sustained periods of time over the course of several miles. Roughly 80% of the route is 100 miles per hour or higher for this train. So the speeds and the variety in the scenery are also exciting. One moment you will be in the suburban area surrounded by trees. The next you will be going down a 1% grade at 110 miles per hour into a trench below street level that's surrounded by concrete. All things considered, it's really cool to see all of that in this package. Tom, I am I am keen to see the reaction to more American passenger content. We've done some Amtrak and Caltrain in the past. Traditionally, there's not as much variety in the US as there is in the UK or Europe. It's great to have Amtrak back in the game and also bring something completely new with MBTA. Matt, I like the fact that it's got the variety of operators. You've got MBTA and Amtrak who have got different stopping patterns on the route, and it just gives a different feel. You have very got different trains to drive. MBTA is diesel electric, whereas Amtrak is overhead electric. You've got the brand new coaches in a cab car on the MBTA F40 PH-3C with its single deck coaches. It's new and very exciting. To echo what Brandon said, the changing scenery is great because the last bit of the route is essentially where you're going from the countryside to the big city. You get that entire transition from being out in the fields with the trees to diving into the trenches in and amongst the local lines and dense traffic. One of the things I'm just really fascinated by with this route is just south of Boston South Station is Southampton Street Yard, and there's this big balloon loop in the yard. When looking at this route to start, we notice Amtrak trains don't run with cab cars north of New York Penn. They only use cab cars south of New York Penn, so the question we had was, how do you turn a train around? They have a locomotive at one end, and there's nothing but buffer stops at Boston Station. So how does the loco get on the other end? Normally in the UK you would do a loco swap or something like that. When you look into the processes and procedures for Amtrak, locomotive swaps are actually time consuming because of all the retesting of brake lines you've got to do if you make any changes to the brakes. So what they actually do is reverse the train out of Boston Station, south into the yard, around this giant loop, and then reverse it back into the station again, which now has the loco on the correct side again. That's really unique, and it will be in there for the players to do. It's something I'm really looking forward to seeing in the game. I also have to mention how much I like the color of the MBTA train. Trainable 2 Rush Hour is coming this summer. You can find more about the British route featured in this pack in last week's developer diary on trainsimworld.com here. And then we got like a little blue here. I think that just takes you to it. But yeah, there's some pretty nice images in here. Really nice route. It is honestly. I'm the most excited for this route. Amtrak is back. It's my favorite thing I could ask for, along with MBTA, which is pretty unique. So yeah, we got we got a few new screenshots. Not in game yet, besides the one that we got in the first article that we had about Rush Hour. I think I see an image about Southampton Yard here with Boston in the background. Countryside with fields. Some signals. Signals. Code West TR2 main line. Don't know. I think this is the trench they were talking about here. And of course I got the big balloon loop, which is actually pretty cool. Got Boston in the background, and then you got this big loop, and then you head back into the station. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to give it a like and maybe subscribe to the channel for more future content. Rush Hour is coming this summer with both Reset of Dresden and Brighton Mainline with the DBBR 442, DBBR 146, DBBR 143, DB Cab Car, MRC EBR 185, Gatwick Express Class 387, Southern BR Class 377, ACS 64 from Amtrak, and the MBTA F40PH-3C. Reset to Dresden, 55 kilometers. Boston-Providence, about 50 miles. And Brighton Mainline, about 50 miles as well. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Roadmap is this week as well, so yeah. Well, I believe it is this week. But anyways, I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye, everyone.